It's 6 o'clock. We'll call the regular meeting of the Blair Township Board of Trustees to order. Actually, let's go ahead and, well, yeah, we should do roll call first.
Fitzpatrick.
Here.
Oh, I'm sorry. First of all, we have to do the pledge. Bear with us tonight. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Fitzpatrick.
Here.
Fleece. Blomstein absent. Campbell. Here. Wolfgang.
Here.
Zeitz absent. Petra.
Here.
Okay, now we need a motion to appoint a chairperson in the absence of the supervisor. And I would move to appoint Dennis Fitzpatrick as chairperson.
I second it.
A lot of people were anxious to
Yeah.
I tried to warn you first.
I've lost my voice.
Okay, I'm turning the gavel over to
Very
you.
good. First on the agenda is brief public input. Does anybody have any public input? If you come to the podium, give us your name and address, please.
Hi everybody, my name is Nathan Vedler. I live in Marion, Michigan. Hopefully some of you remember me from last winter when I brought my attorney Craig and Hospice Regional Service Operations Manager, cannabis dosing expert, and registered nurse Kathleen Graham. As you know, a lot has happened in the cannabis industry since then, from the first medical licenses being awarded around the state to the passing of Proposal 1. Michigan voters have once again spoken in favor of cannabis. Did a little homework this weekend and added up the votes from your 4 precincts. There were 1,659 yes votes and 966 no votes. It's a little over 63% approval. With each precinct in your township passing Prop 1, it's obvious that the majority of your community supports use of cannabis. But Prop 1 is not what I'm here to talk to you about this evening. I'd like to re-spark the conversation of our state's medical marijuana program. In 2008, our township, your township, passed Proposal 8-1 with 2,154 yes votes and 1,349 no votes. That's almost 62% approval. I believe after seeing the results from your township in 2008 and now in 2018, that it's time for Blair Township to opt into the medical marijuana licensing that our state is offering at our voters' request through Laur's State Licensing Board. There are over 800 applicants in the queue to be reviewed by the board, with 139 already approved and 83 denied. This leaves somewhere around a 40% denial rate. So this tells me that the board is moving slower than we wanted. And it also tells me that they are doing the proper screening to ensure compliant operation in Michigan. I have given a couple of printouts to you. First of which shows a map of the active MMFLA licenses in Michigan as of yesterday. As you can see, there's not much accessibility unless you live in the most populated areas of the state. The other printout is a copy of the final report of a grant that was issued to Grand Traverse County /TNT for the enforcement of medical marijuana laws. The money for this grant came from Medical Marijuana Association cardholder application fees. As you may remember from Craig or Kathleen's presentation, there will now be additional funds distributed to each county municipality that participates in the MMFLE licensing. As you see in the accomplishments and problems section on the first page, T&T was successful in the closure of all unlicensed dispensaries in Grand Traverse County in 2017 and was successful in keeping them closed in 2018, as there is no LARA licenses distributed yet. This shows a community of operators that is now potentially patiently waiting for their municipality to opt in. Moving forward, police will be working with their municipalities and license holders to ensure the safe and compliant operation of these facilities. They will have live feeds to video surveillance and a duty/ability to search any MMFLA licensed cannabis facility in their jurisdiction. Heard that you have a VA clinic coming, which is pretty cool. So you should know that PTSD is one of the top qualifying ailments to get your MMA card. I love to work with this clinic, help them with their patients' needs. I would also offer a discount to all veterans that come to my store every day. I'd be working with the nurse Kathleen to train employees and help with dosage questions that any card holder may bring to my attention. Kathleen is starting holding educational seminars on the history and dosing of THC and CBD, as you will see in the last handout. I would love to sponsor an event of hers in your area to educate your community and answer your patients' questions about the cannabis or hemp-derived CBD products that they have been using. If you begin to look at examples of ordinances from around the state, as Nicole has, you will see things like first come, first serve, or selection by merit, or a lottery style application. You will also see them require things like negative pressure in the building so that the smells do not pour into the streets. Along with the obvious noise and light restrictions, municipalities may also allow growers to stack licenses, which means granting one person or company multiple 1,500 plant license grows, which would not be an issue for any community, in my opinion, as long as they do not let the smells out into the street. Something else to consider is the co-location of licenses. This is legal to do with 3 of the 5 license types: grow, process, and provisioning. This allows businesses to move their product from grow to process or from grow to store without having to pay secured transporters. You will also see where there are separation distances in some of these ordinances between cannabis businesses, schools, churches, and residences.
Excuse me, I need to interrupt you for a minute.
Go ahead.
Are you getting close to closing, because we allow about 3 minutes?
Right, Nicole had said I could go a little past the 3 minutes if I needed, if that's okay, but, yep, one more page.
Fine.
You also see, let's see, where was it here? Okay, I see where some of these make sense in areas, but not in areas like Chum's Corners where houses are on top of businesses. I would suggest no separation from residences, or at most 300 to 500 feet from houses. If you're not allowed to smoke in public, you're not allowed to smoke in the provisioning centers, and the smell is not allowed to come out of the building, what is the need for 1,000 feet distance? I see establishments in the area serving alcohol within 100 feet of homes. As the months go by and caregivers such as myself are establishing businesses around the state, don't wait to opt into the medical marijuana licensing program. This area needs safe access for its card-holding patients, and now is the time to do it before the serious operators set up shop elsewhere and you miss out on the potential tax revenue. It is obvious that cannabis is already here, so let's regulate it and give the people of Blair Township the the safe and tested product they deserve. I'd like to suggest that you hold a special meeting in the next 2 weeks to further discuss the matter. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. I know Nicole had mentioned that she had wanted to put it on the agenda about talking to either opt-in or opt-out here, so
Yep.
that will be coming up.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is the approval of the agenda.
There's anybody else?
Oh, is there anybody else for public comment? Anybody else? So we'll move on to approval of the agenda.
We've got a couple things to add, so I would like to make a motion to add Lot and Land LLC Water and Sewer Ordinance Variance Request as item A under new business. And I would like to add Resolution 2018-22 as item L.
So there's a motion.
I make a motion to.
I made the motion.
Sorry.
That's all right. Do you want
There's
a
a motion,
second?
we didn't
Okay.
have any support, thank you. Okay,
All in favor?
all in favor,
Say.
say
Aye.
nay.
Those opposed?
Those opposed?
Okay.
Okay, so. Next, is there any declaration of conflict of interest on any of the agenda? Presentations and special reports. Brad Travers, County Commissioner.
We have
We
none.
have none. Community response.
Good evening. Blair Township Community Police Report for October of 2018. Township statistics: arrests 29, citations 71, complaints 605, traffic crashes 32. My statistics: arrests 1, citations 12, complaints 45, warrants obtained 1. First thing, we had a small oil spill. Someone maliciously opened the valve on one of the oil facilities here, the little sites. 294 gallons was spilled, which you don't think is too much, but they have to do so much work to get it back to whatever EPA, is that what it is, standards? So it could cost like $10,000 to the company, but no evidence and not any clues as to who may have done that. I did have a jury trial this month about a little larceny that happened at Grand Shell. It took the jury less than an hour to find the defendant guilty, so that was good. I enjoy jury trials. Extra OWI patrol. In October, Blair Township received a state-funded OWI grant, and this is measured by statistics, traffic crashes, and drunk driving incidents in your township. And there were 8 nights of patrol, all done by Grand Traverse County Sheriff's deputies. I think it went from, the first patrol went from 4 to 9, the next patrol went from 9 to 3 a.m. 221 traffic stops, 5 drunk drivers, 49 tickets, 1 felony arrest, and 22 misdemeanor arrests. I worked both Devil's Night and Halloween from 9 to 3 a.m. on that, so. And there's another one coming to Blair Township in December, and then one coming in August 2019. Anything else?
Not
Any
till
questions?
August?
What's that?
Not till August?
Yeah, I don't know what the reason is for that. Maybe there's a rotation in state where they.
Questions, anyone?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Emergency services.
Hi, everybody. Halloween party, we did our annual Halloween party. I'd like to thank everybody that helped out. Some people went shopping, some people out made cookies, some people attended the party, so everybody that helped out, thank you. special thank you to Rico's. They donated the pizza for the party. Electro System DJ, every year they come and play the music, and that's their own donation and volunteer. And Metro Fire donated their drop and roll blow up device for the kids to practice on. Chief Parker attended the Michigan Fire Instructor Conference that was held up in Traverse City, so he attended that, and he was one of the guest speakers for that conference. That was last month. Career Survival Class, held that October 16th. Thanks everybody for coming. I was really happy to see, we didn't make it mandatory, but a lot of the employees actually brought their spouses, and it relayed how we deal with things, with the calls we're on, and sometimes when we take it home with us, that way the spouses are able to recognize it and work with their significant other. So I was really glad to see that. Which goes into backing the badge. Thank you for supporting and passing that last month. We did a conference call. Been very impressed with that. They're coming up December 4th to do a class to the employees and spouses or anybody in the household, because that's what it covers. And then they also have their counselors that actually ride along the shifts with the crews. So they get to know the crews and the crews can get to know them. So I recognize the need to call them. It's like, oh, I know this person. Sometimes it makes it a little bit easier. A couple months ago, I announced that Blair Township Fire Department was a host for a regional hazmat education grant through Dr. Smith, our med control doctor. That's getting underway. Most of those classes will be held during the winter time. But with my communication with him, he let me know that the chief in Leland, Chief Buster, he was our keynote speaker for the 9/11 ceremony, was writing a regional grant for air packs and masks. Ours are coming due to expire by the NFPA guidelines. So I was able to call Chief Buster. He talked with Chief Parker, and we were able to get in on that grant request. So that should, I'm guessing, I didn't see what the total amount was that he requested for Blair Township. I'm guessing it's around $40,000. So sometimes taking that initial step of networking pays off. That's all I have. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Eric. Grand Traverse Road Commission. Andy.
It's a long walk over now. Andy Merrick, Grand Traverse County Road Commission. We are in the process of hiring a new manager. We started looking at applications. We're going to extend the, we're going to resubmit or put out a net to try to catch people. We put it under administrator. We got some people who are administrative assistants. Slight difference in the job qualifications. So we're going to put out this road commission manager. Maybe that's going to be what's more common with the industry, so we're hoping to get some more applicants. Winter's here. Drive safe, drive slow. Remember the conditions. We've got our plows out. It might not seem that way, but it always, first time it snows, first time it gets cold, the roads just are really tricky to play with because you got different road temperatures and air temperatures and all that. So we're doing what we can. We had crews working overtime this weekend to try to make the roads as safe as possible. That's the two big things we've got going on right now. The arc cut is open. I'm kind of disappointed. The pictures I saw, or the drawings, made it look like it was much longer. I don't know how I thought they're going to add property there, but for some reason I thought it was going to be longer lanes for the turning traffic. But it seems to be flowing pretty well. I drive through there quite a bit now, and it seems to be going better than it was before.
Any questions?
All right.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks, Andy.
Wait, Trent.
Good evening, Ken Short with Wade Trim. Just a real brief update for you tonight. The Well 4 iron removal project is shut down. The contractor got the building electrical completed. It's heated, it's secure, it's so that we're just waiting on equipment at this point. And latest date for equipment has actually been pushed back a few more weeks. I just got an email walking into the building, they're saying December 14th, so haven't had a chance to ask any details yet, but we'll do what we can to get it here as soon as we can. You know, the conditions for installation don't really change. It's winter, it's gonna be cold. My main concern is just making sure they have plenty of time to operate it and getting up to speed before summer flows hit. So, later in the agenda, there's a pay request, and that is for pretty much the electrical work that was done early October. And that's my report. Other than that, we've been just doing a lot of plan reviews.
Is this what they're waiting on the filters?
It is, it's the filter equipment. It's a whole kit, a whole process unit that gets put inside the building and plumbed in. So,
Very good.
And I suppose is it that they're still building these filters? I mean, they've got all our money for the filters. And
it is. What it is
keep delaying it.
The company that actually fabricates the big steel tanks is what's causing the delay, from what I've been told. We'll try to get more details and make sure they're getting it as fast as we can.
Okay.
Very good.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you. Any announcements or correspondence?
I have an announcement, I guess. The election is over finally, yay! Turnout was huge. We had 3,596 voters total. That included the absentee, but that was just 300 short of the 2016 presidential election. So, yeah.
That's huge.
It's great.
And it all went smooth.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to make, being the first night now that Andy Merrick is recording us, some memories by Andy. I think it's gonna be nice. Thank you, Andy. And also, Thursday, of course, you're on firearms. Whoever goes out there, I want them to have fun, have a good time, good luck. Please be safe, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Consent calendar. The purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items together to be dealt with in one board motion without discussion. Any member of the board, staff, or the public may ask that any item on the consent calendar be removed from there and placed elsewhere on the agenda for full discussion. Such request will be automatically respected. Does anybody have any requests? None.
I would make a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
There's a motion to do it here. Okay, motion has been to approve the consent calendar and has been seconded. Is that a roll call?
No.
No. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved? Okay, unfinished business. We might continue to do unfinished. Green burials, possible amendment to cemetery ordinance. I think.
Yeah, we really haven't talked about it, and I guess at this point, what we would need to do, if we're gonna include the areas that we talked about, it's gonna be an amendment to the cemetery ordinance, and I'm not sure, we would have to draft the amendment,
Correct.
bring it to a meeting. I'm not sure if that would have to be a public hearing.
I think so.
I don't think
Because
so.
there's no penalties.
Yeah,
No.
I mean,
Okay.
pretty much they've already had the big penalties, so.
yeah.
Same.
Pretty much the biggest penalty you can get, huh?
Pretty much.
So I guess now that I have a little more free time, maybe I can work on the amendment and bring it to a future meeting.
Okay. Thank you. ALS intercept fees.
Last month, we had a little discussion on this, trying to get people caught up. That was a significant amount of money. Supervisor Blonshine sent a letter to Green Lake. They, within a day or two, got caught up to their bill. I'm still having issues with one other service to the south of us. We're in continuous contact with him, trying to get him caught up. So Paradise Township, that was a billing issue, getting their billing up and running from starting our service. The majority of the intercepting agencies are becoming current, and as I said before, we need to work with them, and I would request that we rewrite the agreements for a $350 charge with a 60-day 5% net, and after 90 days, 5% interest, once they become current.
Did you say, could you repeat that last line?
$350, and then if they pay within 60 days of being invoiced, there's 5% off, which comes to $332.50.
Okay.
If they do not pay within that 60 days, they owe $350 for that intercept. And after 90 days, they're charged interest 5%. And that goes back to the amount of time that we've been spending trying to collect these fees, giving them more incentive to pay up, to free up our time. I mean, the amount of research that we've been doing and contact and trying to reach out to them to collect these fees, at least this will give motivation to keep on track and paying us on time.
I hate to ask this, but since she's not here, and I know you, Tracy, and Eric, and Nicole have been the ones basically dealing with it. Do you guys know if she's comfortable at where we're at this point?
Well, I think his last sentence said it is once they're caught up. And that, so we're not going back, but it's once they
So
get.
once they're caught up, then they will get the new rate?
Right.
Okay,
Right.
gotcha.
Once they become current,
Right,
I can contact them and have a new agreement.
Gotcha.
right.
But not until they become current with the current bill.
So that's gonna be quite a motion to come up with.
Yes.
You have that written down?
Nope. That's the only part of the intercept agreement that we're looking at changing.
Interest reported, or one?
Request for motion to change the receipt.
Well, my packet's a little messed up because of somebody. Here we go. No, that's not it. Oh, I do have that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the wrong thing.
I had it under E, because it's on the last page.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna try this.
You're better than I am, so go for it.
I move to approve a new intercept rate of $350 per intercept with a 60-day 5% net with 5% interest after 90 days. Once a BLS agency has become current with the reimbursement to Blair Township. How's that?
Very
Yeah.
good.
Perfect.
Support.
Okay. There was a motion and supported to approve a new intercept rate of $350 per intercept at a 60-day 5% net with 5% interest after 90 days once the BLS agency has become current with the reimbursement to Blair Township. Roll call?
Please.
Yes.
Longshine absent, Campbell.
Yes.
Wolfgang.
Yes.
Zeitz absent, Kutra.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Okay, under new business,
We're going to the Lot and Land LLC.
okay, this is for the Lot and Land LLC. And
Yes, hello. My name is Dusty Christensen with Mansfield Land Use Consultants here on behalf of Lot and Land. We're here tonight to request that you grant a variance from section 801 of the Township Sewer and Water Ordinance for a proposed water main extension for a project that is proposed on M37 at 1206 on South M37, just south of Menards on the west side of M37. The project location is here. I've outlined it in black. There's a vacant lot south of Menards. Lot and Land purchased the property, and it's proposed a new contractor showroom and storage facility for the Pathway Homes business, which is actually just north in Garfield Township. They're going to move down into the township and build a new facility there. It gives them more room to grow and provide their clients with the services that they offer. As a part of that project, we're proposing to extend a water main down the west side of M37, about 300 feet of water main extension from the existing hydrant at the Menards driveway right at M37. That's required for building water supply and then also fire suppression and then fire service as well. The ordinance states that water mains have to be extended across an entire property to the far property line. Due to the unique circumstances in this instance, we're requesting the variance that would only require us to extend the water main down to about halfway across the property at their proposed driveway location. There's only one developed lot to the south, which has an existing well for their water service. And then there is the township sewer lift station, and then the big valley that the railroad corridor runs through underneath the highway, as well as a creek. There's also an existing water main that runs the entire east side of M37 that already crosses those natural features. Due to the low need for potential water to the south on that west side of M37, we're requesting the variance. We had a meeting with township staff and the supervisor earlier this year, and the outcome of that meeting was generally that everybody felt it made sense to not have to extend that water main to the south property line. I don't know, the township engineer also wrote an email to that effect stating that they didn't have an issue with that. I don't know if you have copies. I brought some with me if you need them. But they're generally in agreement that the extension of that water main down to the south property line is unnecessary. That's the crux of the request that we're bringing to you tonight. The plans for the proposed project have already been approved by the Planning Commission, MDOT, and the County Erosion Control Office. Any questions?
thank you, Dustin.
Thank you.
This is your.
Yes. Well, I'd make a motion to approve the variance for Lot and Land LLC requesting a grant variance from section 801 of Township Ordinance number 100-17 of Blair Township Water and Sewer Ordinance.
Support.
Okay. There's been a motion and support for Lot and Land LLC for a variance from section 801 of Township Ordinance number 100-17 of the Blair Township Water and Sewer Ordinance. Roll call.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Seitz, absent. Kutra,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Please,
Yes.
Sunshine, absent.
Thank you, Lisa.
Night, guys, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think Lisa needs to say
Nobody asked you what you thought.
Next on the agenda is the reappointment of Adam Wagner to the Planning Commission, term expiring 11/21.
Actually, that should say 11/30/2021.
Okay, 11/30/2021.
So if you just say that in your motion,
Okay.
or I could say it.
I'd move to, for the reappointment of Adam Wagner to the Planning Commission, term expiring 11/30/2021.
Support, second.
It's been moved and supported to reappoint Adam Wagner to the Planning Commission, term expiring 11/30/2021.
And we're ready for a roll call.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Sunshine, absent. Campbell,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Seitz, absent. Kutra,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Please,
Yes.
Okay, next, C, establish an ad hoc committee for parks and recreation.
Well, Miss Nicole, this was her baby.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what she wants to do on this.
I'll be tabled. No.
I know though that she wants to get it done.
Yes, I know, that you're
Yeah.
gonna move on this.
Yeah.
Are there any people that have come forward to get on that committee for this at all? at
Not
this
that
point?
I know of.
Would you want residents coming on something like this?
That would be nice
Yeah.
to have.
Hey, what do you
And I
think?
don't know how many people, what is she thinking, like 6? maybe?
That's what I'm thinking, but,
Jeez. Let's take a shot at it. No.
Probably would need to maybe try an ad and also on the website,
yeah,
but no, depends totally on the website, because not everybody will.
I know.
Put that out on the sign up. We need ad hoc committee members.
Well, I think she was hoping to have, and Ken, I don't know, I know she's working with Arthur. I don't know how, if you've talked to him about this at all, probably not a lot, okay. I was thinking she needed to have something in place by like the end of the month,
End of November.
November.
Wow. Gary likes parks and recreation.
Do we want to, I know I'm probably not using the right terms when it comes to Robert's rules, but, we could take a recess. I could text her, see what her thoughts are, come back to that at the end of the agenda.
Okay,
What do you think?
yes.
Yeah,
So
sure.
just move that to.
All right.
and move
So
it to-
I will make a motion to recess at 6:40 and bring the Parks and Rec Committee back at the end of the agenda.
Okay.
How's that
Sounds good.
sound?
Sounds good.
Somebody gonna support?
I'll support it.
It's been moved and supported to recess until 6:40.
recess at 6:40.
We have a minute.
Yeah.
So that'd be good.
All right, I'll go text her and
Thank
see
you.
what she's thinking.
Vote?
Hmm?
Did you vote?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
Yes, we're,
do we have a roll call? Do we do all in favor?
just all in favor.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay?
I
Passed.
forgot to say aye, but yes.
Done.
Oh, great, yeah,
So,
yeah. I don't know, Arthur sent an email saying that they've never gotten this huge a response for a Parks and Rec
well, that's great.
survey before. So we were all very excited, I think, to hear that. So we don't need a motion on this or anything.
All right. D,
Oh, jeez.
establish union negotiation committee and negotiating dates and times. Maybe, Eric, you can bring us up to date on dates
Yeah,
and times.
we're coming about due to start negotiations. I've been asked by the union, I've advised them to submit a request to start negotiations and give a couple of dates as options for starting. And they're looking to start at the beginning of December, just to get a couple out of the way before the holidays to see where each other stands. So we'll just need a committee on the township board side to negotiate. I would recommend myself and Chief Parker be on the committee, and any board member.
How many people are usually on the negotiating committee?
I would think if we had 2 board members on top of Chief Parker and myself.
I know Nicole wants to be on there.
I would like, I mean, just because,
You've done it in the past.
well, I've done it in the past and I do know something about their benefits and
Yeah, that's important.
things like that.
And there's no restriction on the member size if you want.
I don't think we could have a quorum though of the board, then we'd have to post it.
I would,
Right,
you know,
but-
if there's room, I would do it, only because I've been through negotiations with unions before,
Mhm.
so. But that's, you know, if you don't need it, that's.
So we only need to make a motion on the township employees that are gonna be on the
Correct,
committee.
and then once the union submits their request, I can forward the request to you.
Okay.
So we need a,
Yeah. So, but we don't know dates yet.
No.
Okay.
We need to establish the committee.
Starting, but we can say starting somewhere
Right.
beginning of December. Okay.
Well, I don't know, we should probably get together a couple times beforehand to get our ball game together.
The townships,
Right.
yeah.
So I would imagine if we have a committee, I can take the lead in establishing some meetings amongst the committee before we sit down with negotiations.
Why are you looking at me that?
do we think we need a motion?
Yes. It's up to you, or I can do it.
I would make a motion to establish the union negotiation committee, being made up of Eric Somsel, Chief Parker, Nicole Blonshine, supervisor, and Lynette, our clerk. And yourself?
And yourself.
And myself. Yes.
I support that.
It's been moved and supported to have a union negotiation committee made up of the following: Eric Somsel, Chief Parker, Nicole, Lynette, and Dennis. And dates will be
To be determined.
to be determined.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Zeitz absent, Kutra,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Lees,
Yes.
Sunshine absent, Campbell.
Yes.
Okay. Township newsletter.
This is the lamest newsletter I've ever did. A couple things we have to decide is, one, the Easter egg hunt date, and two, they just called on the township cleanup and said they couldn't do it on the 11th and wanted us to move it to the 18th.
The 18th?
Yeah,
Of May, right?
of May, yeah.
That's in the news.
It'll be a little bit warmer.
The 18th?
Mhm.
Okay.
Shares the second. And then the Easter egg hunt, if we do it the day before Easter, it would be the 20th.
April, oh, that's better than in March.
Right.
April, when's Easter?
The 21st,
And you're talking the 19th, Tracy?
That's a Friday, 20th.
Oh,
20th.
20th?
Okay.
So, I'm screwed up. April, what day?
20th.
And May 18th.
May 18th.
Yeah.
Well, I gave Samsel some changes to his. I don't know, did he give you those?
Mhm.
And there's a couple, I know, in the 911. Did you know Smart 9? Let me see. Smart 911, it should be gives you a way to create a private instead of give. And there was one other, it's just a matter in an emergency. And then on Matt's, where it says CPOs work closely with Blair Elementary School in the township and attend meetings. Well, CPOs don't just work with Blair Township.
Well, I know,
don't
but
like
this
that
is for
sentence.
ours.
I know, but could we say Officer Karcheski works closely with
Mhm.
Blair Elementary?
Mhm. I don't even think he knows this is a parent. And he left. I forgot to tell him.
We need to vote on her.
Well, we
Motion
should,
maybe
but
on the dates,
uh,
and then approve those newsletters.
we normally do, yes, approve the newsletter. But it's- with change, let's just do it with changes, yeah.
I make a motion to approve the newsletter with changes.
I second.
There's a motion to support, and there's a motion and a support for approving the newsletter with changes. Now, do we?
I would just
All
do
in
it.
favor?
All in favor, yeah.
Say
Okay.
aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Opposed? Motion is passed. What is so bad?
It's just, I don't know. No, I.
Okay. Emergency services, new hire recommendations, full and part-time. Eric?
Well, unfortunately, we have only one part-time employee to recommend for hire. The hiring committee's recommendation of a new full-time person declined, switching from his current job to Blair Township would be too much of a pay decrease because of his years seniority there. So, right, so for tonight, we have the one part-time employee, Rudy Rakin. He's currently full-time at Benzie County EMS. He's worked at the ER, we're all very familiar with him. He is smart, and he's got a positive, good attitude, and it'd be great to have him here as a part-time employee.
Awesome, good. Well, he's probably not a kid anymore.
He still looks like one.
Yes,
He
he
looks like
does.
12 years old.
Means you're in
I move to approve hiring Rudy Rakin as a part-time paramedic.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to hire Rudy Rakin as a part-time paramedic. Roll call?
Zeitz, absent. Kutra,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Fleece,
Yes.
Bonchine, absent. Campbell,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Next on the agenda, to write off outstanding ambulance bills, Kingsley Area Ambulance Bank/Bankers.
This one's not any fun to do. Working with Paradise Emergency Services and Kingsley Area Ambulance going out of business and their lack of management. I've been working closely with Paradise Emergency Township Board to purchase the leftover remaining equipment from Kingsley Area Ambulance so we can collect on our bills. A couple months ago, they purchased the last of anything they had. And I know working with them that they have no more revenues coming in, no more assets. The way the interceptor agreement for written is nobody collected, nobody collects. So I guess the only other option that I could see is we can hire an attorney to go after it, but we're gonna be spending the money on an attorney with probably nothing being collected from it.
How much are we losing on that?
The remaining balance, I think we've gotten it down to from about 45,000 down to 14,000. That's how much Paradise has purchased equipment, working with them to pay us, so that we got a lot of it paid off. And that's an estimate on Acumen's part because of the way the intercept agreements were written of 60% of revenues collected. There was no revenues collected, so they're just estimating on what that insurance would pay if that was billed out.
So basically, they just never paid their bills.
Correct.
14,652.56.
And you like motion, right? I would make a motion to write off the remaining Kingsley area ambulance debts.
I would mention the figure in the motion if you would, Carl.
Or the 14,000,
Yeah.
which with the estimated remaining balance owed to Blair Township, about $14,652.56.
I second.
There's a motion and support to write off the estimated remaining balance owed to Blair Township from Kingsley for a balance of $14,652.56. Roll call?
Kutra,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Fleece,
Yes.
Bonchine, absent. Campbell,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Zeitz, absent.
I have one question. Does that come out of your, does that go towards your?
Yeah, it comes out of his pay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
I didn't know how to say that, but very well.
I knew how to say it.
Your budget, is that, or is it just something that It's not a budget item.
It-
How
It's
does that
revenue
work?
that doesn't come
Yeah,
into the
that's
budget.
never-
Into the lost revenue.
Mhm.
Correct.
Right, right.
Very good. Emergency Services Grant submission for $14,000.
We are, Chief Parker and I got together, there's the 2% tribe grant and the Michigan Parkland grant. And we both agreed for the Michigan Parkland grant, which is a max of $5,000 to submit for the Mobile Eyes program, which the total cost is $6,800. So if we did get the grant, we'd still have that cost of $6,800. Mobile Eyes program is set up for pre-plans and inspections, so when we are en route to a fire call, we can bring it up on iPads and get the inspection report and the pre-plan report. And the other nice feature of this Metro Fire Department, our neighbors has this program, so we would be able to access each other's mobile eyes if we were providing mutual aid for each other. Now, the caveat to this is, part of this, the iPads is part of the grant we're submitting to the 2% grant request for the iPads and the software for a CAD system. The CAD system software is communication with central dispatch. So if we're going to a call, we can have it on our iPads of any further messages needed. Police use it for, so they don't have to transmit over the air if they have some important messages. Or a lot of times when we go on calls, we have to call them for a key location because a lot of people hide the keys to the residences. This would be communication through the computer system with central dispatch without having to use a voice. Now, the 2% grant involves the iPads and the software for the CAD system. So the Mobile Eyes with Michigan Parkland grant would work on those iPads. So if we get the grant for the Mobile Eyes through Michigan Parkland and we don't receive the one from the 2%, we would have to purchase 2 iPads, which would be about $300 a piece, or vice versa. So
$250 on Black Friday.
yeah, I would know that. But my concern is this involves 2 separate grants, and if we get one without the other, we're gonna have to purchase the iPads. So that's why I'm bringing it to the board for.
But
What happened?
totally your expenditure would be about $2,500
Correct.
out of the fire budget.
Correct. If we did not get the 2% and we received the Michigan Parkland grant for the Mobile Eyes, the max would be about $2,500.
But the total together is about a $16,000
Right.
purchase. And it would be
Right.
$2,500.
Correct.
Pretty good return on investment.
So this would be 2 different,
I
Or do it all.
I would say, just approve the purchase up to $2,500. And I move to approve applying for grants for the Mobile Eyes program with the township match not to exceed $2,500. Does that work?
That works.
You support?
It's been moved and supported for the grant submission for the
Mobilize?
Mobilize with a matching amount from the township not to exceed $2,500.
What about this 2% grant?
That's for both.
No, this is a different one.
Right, we only need the one with the mobile eyes if, in case we do not receive the 2% grant.
Oh, okay.
Because if we get the Michigan Parkland grant for the 5,000 and we didn't get the 2%, we'd have to spend the 1,800 on the program and then 2 iPads.
Roll call?
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Lees,
Yes.
Sunshine absent, Campbell,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Zients absent, Kutra.
Yes.
Emergency services surplus equipment.
Trying to get over my nervousness of being up here, that's why I do this.
I hope it's working.
We transitioned the old Echo unit into our MCI unit. As the Echo unit, we have cabinetry in the back end of the trucks to hold the monitor. We have a locking cabinet for the drug box. That did not work for the MCI equipment, so we took that cabinetry out and we just need to declare it surplus so it can sell. We're using totally different cabinetry now, and that would only fit in the make of that exact truck.
Right.
So, I don't know how you word it, Echo cabinetry, declare surplus.
Yeah, I would say.
I would make a motion to approve Echo cabinetry unit to be surplused.
Perfect.
Or surplus and sold.
For an estimate of between $100 and $200. It's been moved and supported to declare the Echo cabinetry equipment as surplus to be sold for around $100 to $200. Roll call?
Lees,
Yes.
Sunshine absent, Campbell,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Zients absent, Kutra.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Okay. Certificate for payment number 3 to RCI for the iron removal plant.
I'll make a motion for the payment number 3 to RCI for the iron removal plant in the amount of $36,668.90.
I second.
Okay. It's been moved and supported to approve the payment for certificate of payment number 3 to RCI for the iron removal plant for a total of $36,668.90. Roll call?
Sunshine absent, Campbell,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Zients absent, Kutra.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Lees.
Yes.
Okay. Treasurer's report?
All right, everybody got a new
Yes.
paper, because the clerk brought it to my attention today that our numbers were off. So I called BSNA and I didn't have a copy of it. So, general fund, $2,835,318. Public safety, $421,376. Ambulance, $562,346. Metro Act, $56,629. Liquor law enforcement, $20,200. Sewer fund is $1,594,770. Water fund is $1,566,825. Current tax collection is $103,722. The payroll clearing is because of our payroll being on the first, so that's why it's a negative 17,589. And milfoil fund is $10,012 for a total of $7,153,613.
Any questions?
What? Oh, well, sit down. You make me
Yeah, what
nervous.
are you doing?
He thought
Coming
he-
up here again?
He thought he was up next.
Extended input.
We're not done yet.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. And Blair Township resolution on Senate Bill 396, which
Andy, do you want to handle this one?
I'll try.
Okay.
I'm gonna put move the camera. Senate Bill 396 involves the road right-of-way, the ability to put the small cell towers. No, that's not the one?
This is the one, the logging truck.
Oh, the logging one, sorry, too many darn Senate bills we're upset about.
I know.
that was.
And the road commission asked the townships
Yep,
to
sorry,
pass a
forgot
resolution
which.
opposing. Yep.
Logging trucks, agricultural, all kinds of different cutouts get special permissions and abilities to do things that other vehicles don't during the small period of time where the frost laws are on. The logging industry is trying to get an exemption completely, even though at the state of Michigan, during the frost laws, are higher weights than during normal time of year in other parts of the country. We don't support it because it causes extreme damage to the roads, and they're not having to reimburse, is what that bill is looking like it's gonna do. It's really, really, really bad for the roads, and it gives the logging industry an opportunity to do things that they really don't need to do for that short period of time, if they plan out their work. They can be cutting, stacking, and wait. I think it's 6 weeks, I could be wrong, is what our frost laws are in this area. We're talking 6 to 8 weeks of interruption to their business, but if they plan it right, it really doesn't affect what they can do. That's why we're looking for our township partners to adopt a resolution showing that they don't support the Senate bill because it causes excessive wear on the roads and, of course, more cost to us to fix what they've done, so we can't do the other projects that we want to do.
So they must have strong lobbies.
Very. And Senator Casperson, his final year, he's a logger,
Yeah.
and he drives truck for the logging industry. So when he gets out of the Senate, he's probably going to go back to what he was doing.
No conflict of interest there.
Questionable.
Did you say, Andy, that when the frost laws are on, we allow heavier weights than most other states? Is
The
that-
loggers during the frost law period in Michigan still are carrying a heavier load than a lot of other places in the United States. We are the state of Michigan has allowed trucks to go very heavy. And even during that frost law, we also slow down their speeds during the frost law times because the faster you go, the more damage is done when you've got that heaving and all that from the
Or the
frost.
reason our roads are crazy.
Part of it.
It makes sense that they would try to do that.
It does if you got a job looking for you.
Well, I would move to adopt Resolution 2018-22 in opposition of Senate Bill 396.
It's been moved and supported to adopt resolution number 2018-22 in opposition of resolution on Senate Bill 396. Roll call?
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Zeitz, absent, Kutra,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Lees,
Yes.
Bonshine, absent, Campbell.
Yes.
Okay. Any other public input, Eric?
I forgot to say in my report, the elections took place after the report had to be done, but I mentioned before, we've been working on Mayfield Township. The board passed to put a millage request on the ballot, and that passed for emergency service millages in Mayfield Township, which starts 2019, so that should increase our revenue by at least $30,000.
It's an emergency services millage, so fire and EMS?
Correct.
So they did it right. Well, I shouldn't say it right, they just did it different than I did. Okay.
Carl?
Dennis, you did good. Thank you for stepping up to the plate tonight, okay?
Well,
You did good.
thank you. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Moved and adjourned to adjourn at 7:18.
All right.